Hi guys, welcome back to my Safe Space Kitchen. So today I'm going to be making Ghana style bean stew with some fried plantains. This is a very popular meal. It is delicious and it is packed with flavor and lots of protein. In the meantime, if this is your first time coming across my page, a warm welcome to you. Thank you so much for stopping by. Now let's get into this recipe.
Safe Space Kitchenette. Make room at the table. Safe Space Kitchenette. It's running ready. Safe Space.
So here I have my Goya black eyed peas. Black eyed peas is typically the beans that we use for bean stew. So here I go ahead and just pour my beans into my pot and I simply let it cook. I did not wash my beans because there's no need for me to do that. I've been doing it like this for a long time and it works for me every time. So if it ain't broke, why fix it, right? But if you do get your beans from Ghana or from the African market, definitely wash it to avoid having to eat those mini stones, okay? Because that's not comfortable. So after about 20 minutes of cooking my beans, I go ahead and I add a little bit of baking soda. What this baking soda is going to do is it's going to help speed up the cooking process, and it's also going to give it a beautiful texture and a beautiful taste. I've been doing this for a long time. It really works for me and I love the texture and the taste that comes with it. So my beans cook for about 45 minutes and it is completely done. So from here I go ahead and add a little bit of salt at the very end, and then I let it cook for another like 10 minutes and then it is completely done. As you can see, it's nice and soft. So I go ahead and I just turn it off and then we continue the cooking process. And as always, all ingredients will be listed in the description down below, but this is what the major things that I'm going to need. I have my palm oil, and as you can see, I ran out of my palm oil, so I'm going to be substituting with the olive oil, and that's completely fine. I have my diced tomatoes, and then I have my mackerel and tomato sauce. I have my ginger, garlic, onion, and pepper. I have some sliced onions and some superku, which is my salted fermented fish. And then I have my homemade pepper sauce. If you haven't seen that video, I will link it in the description down below. Like I said, I ran out of palm oil. So as you can see, the little that I had left, I go ahead and add that in my pot. And to this, I'm also going to be adding some of my olive oil as well. So preferably, palm oil is great when you're making beans, but you got to make do with what you got. So that's what I did there. So once it's heated up, I go ahead and add my fermented fish, which is my superku, and my onions, and I let that cook until it is nice and brown and fragrant, just like you see it. From here, I'm gonna go ahead and add my blended vegetables. So that's my onion, my garlic, my ginger, and my pepper. That goes in now, and I let this cook until most of the water has evaporated. So once the oil starts to pop up like so, that's an indication that a lot of the water has evaporated. So from here, I go ahead and add my homemade pepper sauce. Now, if you haven't seen that video, I will link it in the description down below. This sauce is very versatile. You can use it in a lot of your cooking and it's really good. So feel free to check it out. So once I have that in there, I go ahead and add my canned diced tomatoes as well. I get rid of the excess water that comes with canned tomatoes because I definitely don't need that. And then I pour my tomatoes in there and I mix it in really well, and I continue to let this cook for another 5 more minutes, and then after 5 minutes I'll check up on it. But you can definitely use fresh tomatoes. If you have that, it's even better, right? So after 5 minutes I go ahead and I add my mackerel and tomato sauce. So once I add my mackerel, I kind of just break it apart a little bit, and then I kind of just mix it in there to make sure that it is nice and well incorporated. And then I continue to let this cook for about 4 more minutes. So the next thing is to add my seasoning. So I go ahead and add my homemade all-purpose spice. To this, I also add my homemade curry seasoning. And then I go ahead and add some chicken seasoning as well. And I mix all of these ingredients together with my stew to make sure it is nice and well incorporated. And then I let this simmer for about 4 more minutes, for the spices to get familiar with the stew. And then I will proceed to add my beans. So the next thing is to add my beans, and this is the texture of my beans. It's looking really good. So I'm gonna go ahead and transfer all of my beans into my sauce just like so. And then once I have all my beans in the sauce, I go ahead and mix it. You wanna mix it in really well. Do it gently though, right? Because you don't want a mushy stew. The beans is already really soft. So just, Do it gently, but make sure that the beans is well coated in the sauce, just like so. And this is perfect. This is exactly how you want it. And so once you have it like so, you lower your heat completely, okay? Just lower your heat, because at this point, really it's done, right? But we still want all of the ingredients to familiarize, okay? So that, you know, this is how you build a beautiful flavor, just because the beans was cooked separately and the sauce was made separately. So, you know, once you mix it together, just give it time to familiarize, right? And then just cook it on low heat, just like so. You cook it for about another 5 minutes, just on super low heat. Just pay attention, because you don't want it to burn either. But once that's done, really the stew, it's done. It is perfect just the way that I like it. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go ahead and fry my plantains. So here I have my plantains, and of course I'm going to go ahead and peel it and then cut it up. I cut up my plantains a little bit slanted. It doesn't matter how you cut it. You can cut it round, you can cut it slanted, or however you prefer it. Just make sure that if you're not comfortable cutting in your hands like I'm doing, feel free to cut it on the cutting board. That is the safest way to do it, right? So once everything is nice and cut up, I go ahead and I give it a quick rinse, and then I rinse out all of the water. Now typically, I think what happens is you would soak your plantain in salt water to get that salt taste, but I don't do that. I just wash it and I leave a little bit of that residue water, just a little bit, and then I add my salt to that and I mix it in. So really there's no water, it's just the salt. And for me, I think you're able to taste the salt on your plantains this way. You're able to taste it a lot better this way. So that's just what I do. You don't have to do that. So I'm gonna go ahead and heat up my oil. One thing about frying is you always want to make sure your oil is heated. If your oil is not heated and you add your plantains, the plantains are going to soak up the oil and it's not going to be pleasant to eat. So you always want to make sure your oil is heated. And once you add your plantains, just pay attention to it, give it a flip here and there to make sure that it is cooking evenly, okay? Just like so, just pay attention to it and flip it here and there. And then once you feel like your plantains are done, it's gonna look nice and brown like so. You're gonna take it out of your frying pan into a strainer. So I add a tissue paper into my strainer to absorb the oil, and then I simply just transfer my plantains into that. So that's it, you guys. Frying plantains are very simple, and as you can see, you know, you can get it done in less than 15 minutes, okay? So that's it. And this is what it looks like when it is served with the beans, and it looks really good, you guys. This is the end of this video. Thank you guys so much for watching this video today. I really appreciate every single one of you. If you made it this far and you have not subscribed, please hit on that subscribe button and hit on the notification bell so you don't miss another video. And also just help a girl grow her channel, okay? Help me grow my channel. Thank you so much for sticking it out with me today. I really appreciate every single one of you. And until next time, I'll see you in my next video.